Two kids, same broken neighborhood, same absent father, same empty fridge. 20 years later, one owns a business, the other is still waiting for his life to begin. Same starting point, completely different ending. Psychology has a very clear explanation for why this happens, and it has almost nothing to do with luck, talent, or opportunity. It has everything to do with what's happening inside the mind. Here's the first thing psychology tells us about people who escape poverty. They change who they are before they change what they have. Most people think success looks like this: work hard, earn money, then feel successful. But research on upward mobility shows the process is usually reversed. People who rise from nothing change their self-image first. They stop thinking, someone like me can't have that. They start thinking, what kind of person do I need to become? Psychologists call this identity-based behavior. Your actions follow your identity, not the other way around. If you still see yourself as the broke kid from the struggling neighborhood, your brain will quietly sabotage every opportunity that contradicts that image. The shift isn't fake confidence. It's a genuine psychological rewiring of what feels possible for you specifically. You've probably heard of the marshmallow study. A child is told, wait 15 minutes, and you'll get 2 marshmallows instead of 1. The children who waited ended up doing better in school, earning more money, and making healthier decisions decades later. But here's what most people don't tell you about that study. A follow-up study revealed something important. The children who waited weren't necessarily more disciplined. They were more trusting. They believed the second marshmallow would actually show up. Children from unstable environments had learned through experience that waiting often means getting nothing. So people who build wealth from nothing don't just develop patience, they develop something harder, the ability to trust in a future they haven't seen yet, to believe that sacrifice will actually be rewarded, even when life has shown them the opposite. That psychological shift is far more powerful than simple willpower. Every person building something from zero will face this moment. A rejection that stings, a failure that humiliates, a person who tells them this will never work. And in that moment, 2 paths open up. The first path feels like relief. Quit, avoid, protect yourself from more pain. The second path is harder. Feel the emotion fully and still take the next step anyway. Psychologists call this affect regulation, the ability to experience a strong emotion without letting it make your decisions for you. People who stay stuck often make permanent choices based on temporary emotions. They quit a business after one bad week. They walk away from a goal because it feels too embarrassing to keep trying. People who rise from zero learn, often through failure, to pause between the emotion and the action. That pause, even a few seconds long, changes everything. The human brain is wired to hate uncertainty. Neuroscience shows that not knowing activates the same stress response as actual physical danger. This means your nervous system treats, I don't know if this will work, almost the same way it treats, I am being chased. For most people, this makes risk feel impossible to tolerate. So they wait for certainty, wait for the right moment, wait until they feel ready. But here's what psychology shows us about people who build wealth from nothing. They don't eliminate uncertainty. They learn to function inside it. They make decisions with incomplete information. They move before they feel ready. And they've trained their nervous system to interpret uncertainty not as danger, but as the feeling of growth. That reframe is what separates people who stay waiting from people who start moving. There's a psychological trap that keeps a lot of people poor, and it's not laziness. It's the hunger for the appearance of success. The expensive shoes before the business exists. The lifestyle content before the income exists. The validation seeking before the value building exists. Psychologists link this to something called status anxiety, the fear that others see you as less than. And when this fear drives your decisions, you spend energy looking successful instead of becoming valuable. People who actually escape poverty tend to make a quiet internal decision at some point. I will focus on becoming genuinely skilled. Opportunities follow skill. Money follows opportunity. They delay the status, they build the substance first. And eventually, the status arrives on its own. Here's what's interesting about all 5 of these patterns. None of them require money to start. None of them require the right connections or the perfect opportunity. Every single one of them begins inside the mind, before any external circumstance changes. The people who rise from zero don't wait for their life to get better before they start thinking differently. They start thinking differently, and then their life gets better. If that kind of psychology interests you, the hidden mental patterns behind why people succeed, struggle, and change, subscribe to this channel. Because once you understand how the mind actually works, you start seeing everything differently.